Hello my dear friends, hope you all be fine and doing well. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you so much for joining in your channel with another video. My dear friends, in this video I am going to show you one of the best chess traps. So in this trap you are playing against the Karo-Kann defense. So especially as you know that Karo-Kann defense is one of the most well-known and aggressive opening that you can play with black pieces. So my dear friends, without wasting the time, let's get started the game. And here you just simply push the pawn into e4 and your opponent is pushing the pawn into c6. So the reason behind pushing the pawn into c6 is that in the next move your opponent is pushing the pawn. You should know that this is the main lines in Karo-Kann defense. And here you just simply push the pawn into d4, as you should focus on controlling the center. In this position, as per your expectation, your opponent is pushing the pawn into d5. In this position, you have different options to play. You can take out your knights, and this is also a good option for you. But in here, I am going to show you how to trap your opponent. So first, in your games, you should try this trap, and that is taking your bishop into d3. In this position, your opponent has this option to capture your pawn. If your opponent captures the pawn, so simply you are also capturing the pawn. In this way, you just going to activate your pieces smoothly and go to castle. In this way, you will have a good game. But in here, if your opponent is not capturing your pawn, and instead of that your opponent is taking his knight into f6 and attacking by 2 force to your pawn, in this position you just simply push the pawn into e5. In this position your opponent has different options, but he is not going back and he has not these squares as controlled by your queen. For example, if your opponent take his knight into e4, in this position you just simply pushing the pawn into f3. Now it is very difficult for your opponent because your opponent has nowhere to go. So for example, if he take back his knight into g5, so therefore you are capturing the knight. So in this way you have your priority and easily you can win the game. So in this position, after pushing the pawn into e5, so your opponent is preferring to take his knight into d7. In this position, you have the brilliant move, and that is pushing the pawn into e6. In this position, if your opponent captures the pawn, it is blunder. If he is not aware of the trap, so definitely he is capturing the pawn. So in this way, you have the best move, and that is a check by your queen. In this way, your opponent has only one option to cover this check, and that is pushing the pawn into g6. When your opponent push the pawn into g6, now you can checkmate your opponent in only 2 moves, by sacrificing your bishop or by sacrificing your queen. So in this position, let's sacrifice the queen, giving a check. Your opponent is capturing your queen, and now you are capturing the pawn and giving a checkmate to your opponent. So in this way you are finishing the game. So thank you so much my dear friends for watching this fantastic video, and I hope you enjoyed from watching the video. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel, share it with your friends. In this way you are motivating me to make lots of good videos in the future.